Hi, in this video I'll talk to you about the spouse and dinner last night. The spouse gave a Coke to my son at 8 p.m. at night. I think a can of Coke has 47 grams of sugar. I'm not sure. If it's not 47, it's 42, something like that. So, Daniel, I wrote this down, right, on my iPod. Daniel, no, son, that is garbage. Don't drink it. Spouse, why do you give him garbage and sugar at this hour? Well, why do you give him garbage anytime, And I know why. It's because the spouse grew up in Honduras where soda or cans or Coca-Cola was considered a luxury. And she had this thing, it was something that it was only for grown-ups when she was a child. And so she wants to give that to her child because she didn't have it. They wouldn't buy it for her. It was, I think, one soda for like 5 kids, That was just a sip. So she gives it to her child, not knowing that it's poison. That company should not exist unless they change and take the sugar out. But then the sales will go out and it'll just be a water company. And then my mother, she said, I didn't want to sit here at this dinner table because this table is a mess. Make him some iced tea. All right, so I got the Quick, that little rabbit with the, we had Quick. I said, son, you want Quick on your milk, or you want water, or you want, as Grandma says, iced tea? And then this is what I said. Thank you for buying the pizza, Grandma. And then I put ice cubes in my son's glass, which had the Coca-Cola, but then the spouse, she drank her glass, and then she poured my son's Coca-Cola into her glass and refilled hers. Because there weren't any clean glasses. Then my mother says, you don't know how to make iced tea, Daniel? Because she saw me fail. What I did was, I couldn't put the spoon with the tea powder into the glass because the ice cubes, I had put ice cubes in first. And the ice cubes were in the way. And I couldn't stir. So I got a butter knife, but it also didn't fit, to stir. So my mother says, you can't make iced tea, Daniel? But to be honest with you guys, or just to speak with you, I haven't made iced tea, I think, in more than 10 years. Maybe 15, 20 years. Or maybe I've only made iced tea one time in my life, and that was probably as a kid with my mother, maybe. I doubt it. I don't think I've made iced tea. But I do remember that the iced tea used to have a scooper, and there was no scooper in this container. So then I was going to use first a Tupperware, but Grandma stopped me and she said, that has grease from food. Then I said, no, it doesn't. It's clean. And then she said, don't use it. So I didn't use it. Then I grabbed the blender because a few weeks ago the grandmother, my mother, had broken the pitcher. The nice pitcher that was in my refrigerator, but when I got out of that room back there that we finally rented the room to a beautiful girl. So when I finally got out of the room, I put it over here, and then Grandma dropped it. So I was going to use the blender as a pitcher, but when the spouse saw me, she got up from the table and she gave me a short plastic pitcher that it was underneath by the pots and pans and everything. So finally, my son drank 16 grams of sugar in his tea instead of the 47 grams from the soda. Children, if you're out there, don't drink sodas, or look at how many grams of sugar. And if it has 10 grams, you could drink it. But just about every juice you see, even the milk at school, has 27 grams, I think, of sugar. So what you can do is, it's better for you if you put sugar into your drink than to buy these drinks with sugar already in it. Find out about it. I mean, why would you put so much sugar into your body? All right? Don't ruin your body. And just in general, look up on biographies. I heard that George Washington didn't have teeth and that his teeth were made out of wooden teeth. You know, people have suffered in history, even if they were rich. You know, there was even the rich ones. I remember another one that he was rich, but his son was a special needs child. You know, like I spoke to this lady and she said, "Welcome back from France." And she said, "Oh, my husband got run over by a car over there." And then I'm like, "Oh boy, you know. What do you say to those things?" Yes, he's an old man, she's an old woman. But now, and she also had a handicapped child, which was Down syndrome. Very polite young man, but he was already like 40 and I was 28 or something like that. So even the rich, you know, they have everybody here in the world has some problem. My problem would be the three women: my mother, the spouse, and my daughter. And I gotta be nice to them, because otherwise they could Baker Act me, and I know what they're capable of. They could easily lie, throw me in there. So today I was telling my son that I have a mission to complete, and the mission is to be here until he's 16 years old. Then I could finally get divorced and go somewhere. And if my son wants to come with me, that's fine, because I think at that age, the judge asks the children. I don't know if it's true or not, but he would ask the children, where do you want to live? You know, with your mother or your father. But at that age, my son will be able to avoid a slap in the face from his mother, or he'd be strong enough. Or he'd be able to come with me. Or also, he would be able to control his emotions. You know, because the world is different for men and women. I kick the door and I get Baker Acted. My spouse picked up my CDs from Tony Robbins, $300, body slammed them on the floor, and the police say, "Well, if you can't live together, well, you know, move out." And I'm like, no, I didn't want her in her pregnant state to be thrown to jail. But if she wouldn't have been pregnant, yes, throw her to jail or the Baker Act her for. They keep you a week because this way they make more money. All right. Men have to control their emotions. Women don't, apparently. And women just call the cops, and then the cops they really believe that the man is a monster, when the opposite could be what's happening. There was a movie I saw as a kid where the woman was throwing plates at the husband and he was just on top of his son, and he actually opened up the kitchen drawer, the cabinet down below, and put his son in there because his mother was so angry. But what was what saved him was that she didn't know that the doorbell had rang or something was wrong with the doorbell or something. And her dad had gone, or maybe it was the husband's dad, had gone to the back and he was looking through the window at everything the woman was throwing at the man. And that's what saved the man and got him, got the court to give the boy to the man. Now, it doesn't get out of hand like that over here. It's just yelling, you know. And since I live in the United States, you can't just slap the woman and that will teach her to yell at you. You know, that doesn't. That's illegal in the United States. I heard that there are 3 laws, basically in the United States, or whatever the law of another country is. But there is a 3rd law, and that's like on a boat out in the ocean. It's called Admiralty Law. It basically means that the captain is the boss. But then once you get from there to any country, they're going to ask you, where's the woman? I'm like, she jumped off the ship. Yeah, right. That wouldn't happen. But I have no intentions of murdering, I think it's called, the spouse, because she's the mother of my children. And just because she's my opposite, and she's winning at this moment in time, I will still complete my mission, which is to be here for my son. Now, my daughter is starting to be, what's the word? Well, she was a couch potato. Now she's starting to do some sort of exercise. She won't go to the park with me, but she's playing basketball, or she's moving, at least. That is great. I don't get my hopes up with her because she's still disrespectful. She's still, she has a long way to go. But at least, you know, I'm preparing for death, guys. That's what I'm doing. And I want my kids to be able to cut the grass, or as Booker T. Washington says, at least be able to take care of the pigs. So no, I don't feed the dog, I don't feed the cats. And well, the spouse did it again yesterday, but I told her, you know, you have children, make them do something. Because I know that if children have chores, they will become rich. I had so many chores when I was a kid, and I'm not rich, but that's because I was also spoiled. I would go, wah, and my mother would buy me that toy. I would go, wah, my grandpa would buy me that toy. Whereas grandpa had to buy everything he owned by himself. And so did my mother. So they're both responsible people, all right? And my grandfather, before he ate breakfast, he had to feed the dog, the cat, and the horse. That was before breakfast. That means you will become a responsible person. So the children in this house, I want them to feed the dog and the cats. You know. Like I told my son, look at this plant. It's on the floor. It's dropped on its side. And he picked it up. I said, I shouldn't have to tell you this, son. You see this marker on the floor? Grandma could slip on it. He picked it up, put it away. I said, And then I liked it. His mother said, "Did you brush your teeth?" He said, "Yes." And I was like very happy, because that's the way to do it, my son. You gotta take care of yourself. Do things before. As soon as you see them that they need to be done, nobody has to tell you what to do, really. You should know. Just do what you're supposed to do. All right. Talk to you later on. Enjoy your life. Be better than I am. Thank you.